What's up, guys? Update 4 is here, and with it came trading. And now that it's been here for a minute, some people have made us a trading list that's a complete guide on the values of items to help people trade with better clarity. And I'll be going over it today. I'll link it in the description, so be sure to use it whenever you're making trades. So I've been wanting to make this video for a minute now because I've seen some really bad trades happen to people. Like I saw someone give a corrupt galaxy for a Phantom and Reaper, and even I traded my Phantom for a Kitsune 1-for-1 when it first dropped. But if I had a value list, I would have known that that's a bad trade. And now we do have one, and I'm going to go over it now to prevent as many people from making bad trades as possible and just generally help guide people in making trades. So here's the value list. This is kind of the front page. This is what you'll see first, and this kind of just gives you a rundown of what it is. These are its notes. Like, new cosmetics are not on the value list on purpose, and corrupted elements are completely subjective and do not have set values. These are key for trends and key for demand. So pretty much demand, what that'll mean is if it's higher, that means more people want it. And if it's lower, that means less people want it. So if you see something at like 3 or 4, that means people don't really want this, even if it is valuable. And then key for trends, this is like the direction that things are kind of generally moving. So as you'll see later on, like Reaper has stable, whereas like Phantom has rising and like Kit has declining. Because Kit will likely decrease in value, Phantom will likely continue to rise, and Reaper will likely stay the same. So here's the list. It gives you pretty much all information you could need to know about it. Where to get it, the trend, the demand, and the value of it currently, and also what it is. So like for the information, like it'll tell us that Phantom is unobtainable and where you could have obtained it from and what you could have obtained it with. Trend is kind of like the general direction that the value is heading. Demand is how badly people want it right now. And then value is kind of more just like a comparative tool. So you can be like 1,000 on Phantom, 2,000 on Reaper. So Phantom's roughly worth 5 Reapers. It's kind of comparative, but this number, I don't believe this means actually anything. It's more just completely like comparative. So that's how you would use that number. Now for like the demand. Because like demand and value kind of play like hand in hand, right? So like if Phantom is 1,000 and Reaper is 200, would you trade 5 Reapers for a Phantom? Maybe, but like more people want the Phantom and it's still going up. So you kind of have to take in all of this information when making a trade. So like I said, would 5 Reapers be worth Phantom? Technically, yes, in value, but would you want to do it? Probably not, because Phantom's going to keep going up because it's limited. And less Phantoms are going to be in rotation the longer time goes on, as well as just more people want a Phantom, so it's easier to get rid of. Next, I will talk a little bit about items. Now, you might notice that like 90% of the items in the game are not here. So like the stuff you get from Jungle, from Ancient Tomb, from Snowcat, and like most of that stuff is not here, and it won't be in the like weapons and stuff like that either. That's for a very good reason, and that's because that stuff's worthless. So like most of the items you get throughout this game are going to be completely worthless. It's only going to be the items that you get from like Underworld and maybe Atlantis that have some sort of value. So if you're confused on why, like if you're like me and you have like 600 wooden clubs and why they're not up here and why they're not worth Phantom, that's why. Because most of that stuff people aren't looking for, people don't want, and are too easy to get. So keep that in mind. Most of your armor and weapons don't have much value. It's really just celestial sets from Atlantis and Underworld sets. And I predict as more dungeons get released, like the Atlantis sets will be worth less and the Underworld mythics will also be worth less. So that's why you don't see all your items here, because most of them are just worth like 0. As well as, I don't want to forget, corrupted items are worth 1.5 times the normal. This does not go for elements. This is just items. Like corrupted mythics, I think at the beginning of the value list, he has on there that those are completely subjective. So when it says corrupted items are worth 1.5 times the normal, I want to repeat that only applies to like items, you know, like Solstice sets, Poseidon Tridents, stuff like that. Now here are cosmetics. I'm a little biased against cosmetics. I'm not too big into cosmetics. As you've seen, I've never worn one in a video. It's always been just my normal outfit. So I don't really like cosmetics, and cosmetics are very volatile as well. As you can see, there's way more just like rising, declining, low demands, with cosmetics, because cosmetics are a lot harder to track and is way more subjective, and they're also generally just harder to get rid of than regular items. Like, it's much harder to get rid of like beta daggers than it is for a phantom and a reaper, just because more people want that phantom than they do beta daggers, which is a cosmetic. But cosmetics also do feel like they have much more potential to rise, because as time goes on, nobody else is going to get more red phantom sets. Those will never enter the game again. Elements can just be rolled for. And they were super rare when they were here. So cosmetics have the same type of trading style as like anything else with the information, trend, demand, and value, but they just feel a lot more volatile. So it feels a lot more risky. Whereas like elements, it feels way more stable, way more like this is what they're worth, and this is what they'll mostly always be worth. Here's also some tips. These are just kind of quick. Demand changes the overpay people are willing to give and how fast they will sell it. So remember that the value is a set price. The value does not equal the exact market overpay price. So make sure to always recheck your trade and win-loss. Now, a lot of Discord servers will have like a win-loss tab where you can like send it in there, and people in that Discord server will tell you is if this is a good trade or not. I know Dominion has one, join that guild, and I know my own Discord has one. So be sure to join that as well, where if you're making a trade, you can just screenshot that trade, send in win-loss, and there'll usually be people there to help you out with that trade and tell you if that's a good deal or not. Also, if trading for game passes or trading over 5 items, make sure to use a middleman. If you can't find one, I can middleman. Yeah, this is also a really good idea, because people will unfortunately try to scam if you're trading game passes. And why he also says trading 5 items, that's because you can only put 5 items in the trading bar. So like if I'm trying to trade you 6 reapers for your 1 phantom, well, what's going to happen is you're going to have to give me 1 phantom for 5 reapers, and then you're going to have to trust me to then give you an extra reaper after that. This is dangerous because obviously I could then just scam you. I could just take the trade and leave. So be sure to get middlemen for things like this. Like very rarely should you just trust randoms like that. And do not corrupt a Grimshade. It will go to waste. This is a little more niche, because if you corrupt a Grimshade and then you turn it into a Lightning Katana, you lose the corruption. So as a quick overview, try to use the trend, demand, and value to better inform your trades. That's really mostly what it is, and then make the best kind of judgment you can, or get other opinions. Also, keep in mind, it's harder to trade cosmetics. Unless it's like a really good cosmetic, like a phantom set or something like that. Be very hesitant to trade for cosmetics. You know, like if someone offers you like 10 witch sets for your reaper, probably don't trade that, because witch sets are going to be way harder to trade than that reaper is going to be. So just keep in mind that the demand for things plays a large factor, and that all these prices can move up or down depending on like what people are selling them for and just generally what's going on. And speaking of that, he has a valueless updates, and I believe he also does update this thing in the Dominion Guild and puts like polls and votes up there so people can vote on if they think something should move up or down. I really suggest anyone looking to trade to use this list. I don't agree with everything, but seeing as it's so easy to get scammed, having something like this is so important to help guide you when trading, and just giving you a rough feeling of the items. Now this list is completely subjective to change, like I said, and alters because it's part of an economy and prices rise and fall. So make sure not to just watch this video, but go and actively check it, and even probably have it open while you're trading. Like I said, when I'm trading, I have this open on the second monitor. You might not have one, but just have it open, or like the prices memorized or something like that when you're trading, just to help better inform your decisions, because I've seen a lot of bad trades, a ton of bad trades, and I don't want that to happen to a bunch of people. So big shout out to Snowy for making this, the Dominion Guild that he's part of, join that. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you.